Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on the Jurassic Park Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brad Jost, the host of the Jurassic Park Podcast, and today we have a unboxing and a review of the Suchomimus. This is one of the newer items from the Mattel Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. And I gotta say, I've been seeing the pictures of this item online for quite some time now, and it was super blue and super gold, or yellow, however you want to describe that. And I just saw that and I was like, no, I don't want it. I definitely don't want it. I'm going to pass on that item because there are items in the toy line that you just can't help but dislike for no reason other than your own opinion. You just don't like that dinosaur or you don't like the color scheme. And in my case, this one, I just didn't care for the color scheme. I thought it looked really weird online. But, I went to Target the other day, I saw this thing, and as soon as I turned that corner into the aisle, I said, oh no, it looks so good. I was completely thrown off. I know a lot of people have been telling me online that it looks good. Pick it up. You won't regret it because it has been available on Amazon for quite some time. And it kind of comes and goes whether the stock's up or down. But, I just said, I don't know. I'll pass. And then it just showed up in the stores and I couldn't help it. I had to get it. And you know what? As far as in the box so far, without, unwrapping it or doing anything else, this is one of my favorite items from the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. Mattel has knocked it out of the park again. I'm blown away. I just did not expect to enjoy this item. Again, I just thought it was gonna be ugly. And for me, I was not a fan of the Chaos Effect toy line, from the past. I just wasn't a fan of that hybrid color scheme. And even the newer stuff from Jurassic World, I wasn't a fan of, Hasbro's offerings when it came to the crazy coloring and all that. And then, Mattel naturalized everything. Everything looks pretty standard for dinosaur coloring. But, you could see that the baryonyx in the background there, it has, a blue on the snout there. But that was, I feel like the most spectacular color job that we've seen them from this toy line. So that was the most out there one until this guy. And again, I'm just blown away. So why don't we take a closer up look at the Suchomimus before I ramble on for too long. As usual, let's see if I can get this right. We have Owen and Blue, Suchomimus Action Attack. And this thing has a chomping action here, which you can see. You just press down on one of these sails and it acts as a button, and the mouth and head kind of moves forward and chomps. It's basically like the Carnotaurus kind of does a similar action there. So that's that. You got the volcano, as always, the press button, piece there. Jurassic World logo on the sides, same as always, Jurassic World on both sides, actually. And the bottom, nothing spectacular. So the back has a bit more detail here. You could see the coloring is not as wild as the online images would make you to believe here, even on the box. So that's a good thing. It's not showing off like a different version. Maybe they changed it or something. But no, this is it. This is the version. For some reason the online coloring looks way different. But yeah, so Suchomimus, massive chomping action there. So you can see it in motion there, ghost-like. Looks pretty cool. I like that. Also, don't forget to use the Jurassic Facts app for this dinosaur. Scan the code on the underside of the foot. So there you have it. I mean, this is pretty standard for all the different boxes. Oh, I like that face right there. Creepily, coming over the top there. That's pretty awesome. I love the boxes, as always, with these things. They're always pretty fantastic. This is just like all the other ones. So why don't we go ahead, dive in, and unbox the Suchomimus. So there it is, out of the box. What do you guys think? My gosh. This is a spectacular sculpt. This thing is unlike any of the other toys in this toy line. My favorites so far have been like the Baryonyx, the Allosaurus, and of course the super colossal T-Rex, and really a fan of that Proceratosaurus over there too in the background. But this sculpt is probably one of the best that you'll see out of this toy line. It's so defined. Look at that head, just the different variations on the snout. You have a ridge up here, you have a second ridge in the middle, you have all of these different levelings on the snout here, and the massive detail on the skin, which is fantastic. All the individual like sculpted skin there, and then the eye is pretty great. It's kind of like an orangey eye. I don't know if you can see it as well, but yeah, there it is. And yeah, the detail just goes entirely down the body here. You can see the ribs. I love that aspect. The ribs here, the skin folds, all the creases in the skin here. That is fantastic. The kind of bulging up of skin too on the necklines. So that's really cool. I kind of love the like emaciated look here on the rib cage. That is really cool. I mean, I'm sure this thing is well fed, but you can see it continues on the other side as well. But this thing is fantastic because it has that like rib look, but it's also like jacked like on the arms, and the legs are super muscly. I love that about this thing. So that is super cool. That is very awesome. But let's see, what other kind of details can we point out here? Let's talk about the articulation. The arms go in and out just like that, and also swivel around. So there's quite a bit of variation here for however you want to pose this thing. The legs, of course, go pretty far as well. So you could pose it in an upright position like this, or you could pose it down low, you know, like that, or even lower like that, if I can get it right. There we go. So pretty very good variations there. The legs do also have the X motion here in the legs. And let's see, what's the tail do? The tail does also rotate, so that's good, that's nice. Little disconnect from the fin there, no big deal, that's fine. All right, so let's talk about the head motion here. So you can see my hand is on this button here, and look at that. It's very slow action if you slowly press it down. So it kind of reacts to how you react, which is nice. So you want to do it faster like that, you can. Or I like the slow motion. That's a lot of fun right there. But I love like the snapping, like once it's done. That's really cool. Super thin, like that thing is fantastic. One thing I'm dying to compare this to is the Spinosaurus from the Mattel toy line, which is not easily available at the moment. A lot of people have been asking about the Spinosaurus, and it was available in the US stores on Target.com for a very short time, and then it was instantly sold out. But it has not hit the shelves yet. But we're kind of just waiting on it. It might be delayed here. So I wanted to compare it to that, but we don't have anything to compare it to there. But for instance, we can compare it to this one here. So it is kind of a similar body structure in a way, minus the sail, a little bit different head, but just look at the difference in size there. This one is obviously much smaller. It has the roar action, which this does not do any kind of sound effects or anything like that. I do love the sound effects on these guys. But all the other features are basically the same with the legs and the arms and all that in the different poses. But yeah, that's about all we can really compare it to size-wise. But I want to talk about the coloring just a little bit because, you saw it compared to that one over there, but it's just, maybe it's not the most natural looking one. We do know that dinosaurs had some pretty crazy coloring schemes on them in real life and all that. But, as far as when you create a palette of dinosaurs with your movies or your toy line, you kind of want them to be uniform in a way. And this guy stands out completely from the rest. But I think it's a great thing, and I think it naturally blends in a good way. I know it stands out, but it blends in enough where you can believe that it's part of the same toy line without feeling like it's a different toy line with hybrids and all kinds of different things. It does kind of fit in that sense. You can see the head is kind of loose in that sense. I think that's part of it. That's not really supposed to deter you or anything, but it's just part of the action there. So when you are playing, you know, it will tend to move, unlike some of the other ones where they're pretty static in their motion. But you know, moving it around, stomping around, it will have a lot of action, which is interesting. It's not the best quality for a toy, and I have heard some reports from people on YouTube and Twitter that the head, you know, can, I guess, kind of dislodge and maybe become loose, so be careful about that. You know, if you are pulling on the head or trying to smash it or anything like that, it might become loose, and this effect might not work as well, so you might want to be careful about that. But yeah, I did want to talk about the coloring. I kind of got distracted there. So I wanted to compare it to this guy because it is basically the same color there. You know, it kind of blends in there. It's basically the same yellowish gold, brown, I don't know what you want to call that, but the darker blue in here on the eyes and the nice splattering of the gold around the body, I like that a lot. The blue doesn't really change too much around here at all, but it does kind of take effect around here. It almost looks like a tan line. I don't know, yeah, it is coming through in the video here, so you can see it's much darker down the leg, very dark, very different than this blue even. This blue seems to be lighter than this blue even, but you know, it kind of fades very abruptly right about here and goes down the rest of the leg. Same on this side as well. So I am assuming that this is just a natural part of the paint job here and not some sort of defect, but I don't have another one to compare it to. So I'll have to keep an eye out on that. Let's see what's going on in the mouth, actually. So we got a pretty natural color palette in there, which is good. Nothing too crazy, just the pinkish coloring in there, so that's cool. I like that. And then the foot has the Jurassic Facts app, the Jurassic World logo on here as well. You know, a lot of people have said like, oh, I miss out on the JP stamp on the legs, you know, the mark of Jurassic Park, as they used to say. But yeah, I mean, you do sort of have it right here on the foot, but you know, it's hidden. You know, overall, I think this is a fantastic item. I would definitely suggest picking it up. You know, if you're concerned about the color scheme and it looking unnatural or a little strange, don't be afraid, because this thing is incredible. I am just blown away. Like I said, I did not expect it to look so good. And yeah, I think it's fantastic. I have no real issues with this thing, aside from maybe the loose neck. But yeah, there's nothing really to point out as far as like a flaw or anything. There's a little bit of like yellow right there. Oh well, big deal. The legs or the feet turn as well, so you can position them. Sometimes these can be a little loose if you do it too much, so try not to bend them too much. But yeah, I don't know. I have no issues with it really. I think it's pretty spectacular. I don't know what you guys are all thinking about this item. Do you like this one? Are you going to be picking this one up? Have you picked it up already? What are you thinking about it? Do you play with this alongside the other ones? Is it one of the meaner creatures? Is it like a hero? I want to know. What are you guys thinking about this item when it comes to playing? Because I know when I played as a kid, I had certain ones. Obviously, the Indoraptor back there is a villain. I think that one would probably be a villain too. What is this guy categorize? Yeah, there we go. Categorize as, because it's unique. It's different. I want to know what you guys are doing for play with this thing. So hit us up in the comments below. Make sure to let us know what you think. Don't forget to head to JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all of our articles, our podcast episodes, and so much more on there. You can find all of our information for our contributors, where to find the podcast, which is iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Make sure to download the podcast on all those platforms. Subscribe and share it around, of course. Make sure to leave a review on iTunes. Head to Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod. Give us a follow for all of our information on there. At Jurassic Park Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, share, do all those things. Comment below. Tell your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy.